This evening, police are actively investigating an alleged shooting incident involving 35-year-old news reporter Travis Jason Georgetown. We'll provide updates on the investigation and the concerns raised by the Ghana Press Association about threats to journalists' safety. Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh has presented a $25.9 billion supplementary appropriation bill in Parliament. We'll delve into the specific allocations and their implications. Following a tragic three-vehicle collision on Friendship Public Road, 2 additional individuals have died while receiving treatment. We'll share details about the victims and the circumstances of the accident, which occurred when a minibus attempted to overtake a line of traffic. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil will not attend a crucial meeting addressing border dispute between Guyana and Venezuela. We'll discuss the regional significance and developments surrounding this dispute. French President Emmanuel Macron's immigration reform bill faces a surprising defeat in Parliament. Stay tuned while we explore the political implications of this setback. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for December 12, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, police are investigating an alleged shooting incident involving news reporter 35-year-old Travis Chase on Durban Street and Cemetery Road, Georgetown last evening. According to Chase, around 7 p.m., he parked his white Toyota Primo motor car on the western side of the road facing south in front of his house. He went into his house to collect a shopping list. While doing so, he heard several loud explosions, suspected to be gunshots, which came from the direction of his car.
I said, just watch your car for me, give me 2 minutes, I'm coming back. It's a routine thing. He knows that. As soon as I stepped out of the car, the gunman identified the car, and, well, a gunman on a motorbike. An off-duty policeman was across the road. He saw what was happening, he gave chase, but the man apparently escaped.
Chase said that on checking his vehicle, he discovered 3 holes on the left rear fender suspected to be results of the gunshots. Police visited the scene and 3 9mm spent shells and 1 live 9mm round were found at the scene. Several persons were questioned as investigations continues. Meanwhile, the Ghana Press Association issued a statement this morning calling for a thorough investigation into the shooting that targeted the journalist, noting that this is not the first time unknown persons have targeted Chase. In June of 2020, Chase's vehicle was burned. No one was charged in that matter. The Ghana Press Association calls on the authorities to swiftly bring the perpetrators to justice. They state that journalists must be allowed to work without threats to their lives and livelihoods. The GPA has since notified its regional and international partners of this development. In other news, Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh presented a $25.9 billion supplementary appropriation bill in Parliament to accommodate expanded and accelerated developmental programs across various sectors. The bill addressed contingency funds advances of over $1.9 billion for various agencies, including support for the Ghana Sugar Corporation, operational costs, and additional security provisions. The bill also addressed supplemental funding of over $12.3 billion for agricultural sector, focusing on subsidies, contributions to local organizations, and resources for drainage and irrigation projects. Over $1 billion was sought under the Ministry of Public Works for the maintenance of roads, procurement of equipment, and for the Transport and Harbour Department. $3.9 billion was tabled to support healthcare infrastructure. Under the education sector, over $530.6 million was sought for additional inflow under the Caribbean Development Bank loan for the Skill Development and Employability Project. The Ministry of Home Affairs is seeking some $2.8 billion to boost the firefighting capabilities of the Ghana Fire Service. The financial paper also sought nearly $1.3 billion for the Ghana Defence Force for defense and security support. Under the Office of the Prime Minister, supplementary provisions sought included more than $188 million for additional resources to support the Linden Electricity Company Incorporated, to sustain iTunis operation, the Madia Power and Light Incorporated and Kokwani Utilities, as well as for additional inflows under the Government of India's supported line of credit due to an acceleration in the delivery of solar photovoltaic system. On a different note, in the aftermath of a 3-vehicle collision that claimed the lives of 2 men on the Friendship Public Road, East Bank Demerara on Sunday, December 10th, 2 other persons have since died while receiving treatment. 77-year-old Sidney Ragnott of Kurukururu and 31-year-old Dexter LaRose of Kurukururu Suicide Linden Highway succumbed to their injuries last evening and early this morning. LaRose's relatives said he would have celebrated his 31st birthday today. The incident had claimed the lives of 2 others, Keon Chandos Edwards and passenger Alvin Jones. Reports said that the incident occurred when the driver, Edwards, attempted to overtake a line of traffic while en route to Georgetown. Edwards' minibus BYY 7440 collided with 2 cars, resulting in the minibus overturning and passengers ejected. The minibus then came to a halt on the western parapet of the road with extensive damages. Edwards and Jones were pronounced dead at the scene by emergency medical technicians. Ragnott was taken to the Diamond Hospital for examination in a critical condition. He was transferred to GPHC where he succumbed. The police are actively investigating the accident. Stick around when we return. Survivors of helicopter crash to receive honors, and GPHC elevates dental care services with state-of-the-art upgrades.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel.
Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Hold on to your Santa hats because there's up to $50 million in cash to be won. Activate any data plan and you can be one of 14 winners to join Digicel's Spin to Win game show where you can win millions in cash. Activate a data plan today on the best network and make this Christmas the best one yet.
Digicel.
It's Christmas at Kissoon's Furniture Store. We are fully stocked for the holidays with a wide variety of furniture to choose from store-wide. Beautiful sofas, dinette sets, rugs, pillows, foam and hybrid cooling mattresses in all sizes, beds in king, queen and single sizes, and so much more. Come on down to our mega store or our Rob Street location. Merry Christmas from Kissoon's Furniture Store.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Welcome back. Emphasizing the dedication of the Ghana Defence Force officers, Minister of Education Priya Manichan affirmed that survivors of the recent helicopter crash would receive honors. During the 69th sitting of the National Assembly, Manichan stated that the two survivors, Lieutenant Andrew Crawford and Corporal Dwayne Jackson, would be treated as precious resources and allowed to choose how they wanted to be honored. On Sunday, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali asserted that all those on the flight will be rightfully honored for their diligence and sacrifices for the safety and security of Guyana. The helicopter crash occurred during a command mission to supply ration to border communities. On Sunday, the Eccles to Great Diamond 4-lane highway on the east bank of Demerara was officially inaugurated and renamed Heroes Highway in tribute to the 5 Ghana Defence Force servicemen who tragically lost their lives in the helicopter crash. Brigadier Retired Gary Beaton, Colonel Michael Shahood, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome, and Staff Sergeant Jason Khan. President Ali expressed deep appreciation for the sacrifices made by these national heroes, emphasizing that their dedication to duty and ultimate sacrifices should always be remembered. Moving on, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation has announced a significant upgrade in dental care services at Camberville Health Center and Edmore Polyclinic. With recent investments in state-of-the-art infrastructure and advanced dental chairs, GPHC claims to enhance accessibility and quality healthcare for the community. The expanded dental services operational on weekdays demonstrate GPHC's commitment to staying at the forefront of healthcare innovations. Efforts are now ongoing to initiate dental services at Festival City Polyclinic and Industrial Health Center shortly. Meanwhile, GPHC spokesperson Ms. DeGaron Parker expressed enthusiasm for these advancements, emphasizing the hospital's commitment to elevating healthcare standards for its communities. In other news, Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Bang said there are approximately 21,782 registered Venezuelan migrants in Guyana. Responding to questions in the National Assembly, Minister Ben provided a breakdown by region, highlighting challenges in screening for military background. Region 1 has the highest count with 10,671 migrants. While Minister Ben was able to give figures for regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9, he could not say how many Venezuelans are in the other areas, including regions 10, 5, and 6. The Home Affairs Minister acknowledged difficulties in determining individual military backgrounds, but noted ongoing efforts to identify and document the migrant population. The government encourages registration and implements patrol groups for proper documentation to address the situation in Essequibo. Don't go away after the break. German citizenship. Applicants must support Israelis' right to exit. And Kenya to send 1,500 agricultural workers to Israel amid farm labor shortage.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel.
This Christmas, it's all about the best. Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Get half off and a whopping 50 gigs of data when you purchase the Samsung A04 for just $14,000, the Samsung A14 for just $29,000, or the Samsung A24 for just $35,000. That's right, half off and 50 gigs of data. It doesn't get any better than this. So why wait? This Christmas, buy nothing but the best. Offer good while stocks last.
Digicel.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
When you need money, And you gotta get it fast. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. Let Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
It's Christmas at Kissoon's Furniture Store. We are fully stocked for the holidays with a wide variety of furniture to choose from store-wide. Beautiful sofas, dinette sets, rugs, pillows, foam and hybrid cooling mattresses in all sizes, beds in king, queen and single sizes, and so much more. Come on down to our mega store or our Rob Street location. Merry Christmas from Kissoon's Furniture Store.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil will not be attending the crucial meeting scheduled for Thursday in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This meeting, which aims to address the contentious border dispute between Guyana and Venezuela, will see the participation of President Irfan Ali of Guyana and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Brazil's involvement, represented by da Silva's foreign relations advisor, Celso Amorim, highlights the regional significance of this dispute. Amorim, the main coordinator in reviving diplomatic ties between Brazil and Venezuela, will convey Brazil's stance against any unilateral actions that could escalate the situation. The backdrop of this meeting is Venezuela's recent declaration of the Essequibo region as a new state, following a referendum where the Venezuelan government claimed overwhelming support for annexing this part of Guyana. President Maduro's bold move, including urging foreign investors with concession in Essequibo to leave and plans for a census to grant Venezuelan citizens to residents there, have heightened tension. Amidst these developments, Sir Sridhar Ramphal, former Commonwealth Secretary General, has urged caution and realism. Emphasizing the role of the Caribbean community in supporting Guyana, Sir Sridhar stressed the importance of understanding the limit of the upcoming talks. He reiterated CARICOM's firm support for resolving the border controversy through the International Court of Justice and called for adherence to international law and peaceful coexistence. This meeting comes at a critical juncture for the region, with CARICOM playing a pivotal role in advocating for a peaceful resolution in line with international norms. The outcome of this dialogue could significantly influence the future of Guyana-Venezuela border dispute and regional stability. Internationally, since the war in Gaza began, more than 10,000 foreign workers have left Israel. Now it is turning to Africa to address the severe labor shortage. Kenya has agreed to send 1,500 agricultural workers, but the move is being heavily criticized. Al Jazeera's Malcolm Webb reports.
Bernard Ngugi's been working on farms in Kenya for about 20 years. He says he'd work in Israel if given the chance, and he's not put off by the risks of conflict.
I want to bring up my children well, but I've never had the chance, because I've never had a good job where I can stand on my own 2 feet. If this chance is the one, I can help my parents and I can build for my family.
About 10,000 foreign workers have left Israel since Hamas attacked on October the 7th. Most are from Thailand, including these men who were captured and later released by Hamas. Others were killed. Israel's also revoked work permits for Palestinians. Now it's turning to African countries to plug the gap. More than 200 farm workers left Malawi for Israel last month following a secret deal with the government. Last week, here in Kenya, the Labour Ministry said it would send 1,500 workers who will each be paid $1,500 a month. There are millions of people in Kenya who live in homes like that and work on farms, growing crops like these, for which many earn about $200 a month. So the money on offer in Israel is hard to refuse. Realistically, many of the jobs will go to people who are more privileged and have better access to the recruitment companies. But while it may seem like a good opportunity to many, Political opposition say the arrangement is problematic and exploitative. Israel's previously been criticised for its treatment of African migrants, and rights groups have reported abuses of foreign farm workers. Israel says migrant workers have the same rights as Israeli citizens.
There is a level of transformation.
Kenya's opposition says the government should create jobs at home instead of looking for them abroad.
We know the genocide they are committing in Gaza. That's just to hoodwink the world that we are still okay as a country, but we all know that's not true. I mean, these arrangements with presidents, weak African presidents that are not able to build their own countries, is trying to sanitize itself.
Kenyans are struggling with soaring living costs. The farmers here say whatever the risks, the chance of earning more abroad is too good to turn down. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Kikuyu, Kenya.
French President Emmanuel Macron has suffered a surprise defeat in Parliament. That is after far-right and left-wing MPs rejected a key immigration reform bill supported by his government. The draft law was thrown out before it could be debated. Al Jazeera's Natasha Butler reports.
It was the outcome that the French government had dreaded. A majority of MPs from across the political divide in the French Parliament came together and agreed to block a debate on the French government's immigration bill. Right-wing MPs said the bill was too lax. Left-wing politicians criticised it as inhuman.
For us Greens, it's a huge victory, as it was our proposal that the bill not be debated. For a year and a half, all we've heard is that immigration is a problem. This bill was disgusting.
By rejecting this debate, we've once again protected French people from more measures that would attract illegal migrants.
It was an embarrassing defeat for the French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin, who'd earlier presented the bill at the National Assembly at the start of what was expected to be weeks of intense discussion on the proposed law.
Compromises must be made in the national interest to protect French citizens on our borders, to integrate foreigners and fight illegal immigration.
Because French President Emmanuel Macron's party does not have a parliamentary majority, it needed the support of enough opposition MPs to debate and eventually approve its bill. The decision to block the debate isn't the end of the immigration bill, but it does mean that it won't be passed in its current form. The government can now decide whether or not to send it back to the Senate for discussion or set up a cross-parliamentary committee to re-examine it. Either way, it'll be a very long process. The bill was a mix of measures. On one hand, it proposed speeding up deportations and cracking down on what the government calls foreign delinquents. On the other, it allowed some undocumented workers to be legalised in industries where there are staff shortages. This restaurant owner says immigrant workers are essential for the country's economic growth, and without them, some businesses wouldn't survive.
We have always needed immigration. Our problem is these jobs don't attract young French people. They don't want to do them, so we need immigrant workers.
Right-wing politicians said such measures would encourage illegal migration, while left-wing MPs called the bill an erosion of rights.
Whether you are French or an immigrant, from the moment you're working, you should have the same rights.
The government's defeat in Parliament will be seen by many as a sign that President Macron is unable to build the sort of cross-party consensus he's long called for, or deliver on one of the issues that remains a primary concern for French voters. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.
And finally, combating anti-Semitism is central to German government policies due to the country's history and responsibilities stemming from the Holocaust. That view has deepened since the Hamas attack in Israel in October. In one eastern state, government ministers have agreed to compel German citizenship applications to sign a declaration that guarantees Israel's right to exist. Some lawyers believe the move is unconstitutional. Al Jazeera's Dominic Kane reports.
For decades, the path to German citizenship has been long, requiring competence in the language, years of residency, a clean criminal record, financial security, and a commitment to democracy, law and order. Applicants must also pass a multiple-choice test to show their awareness of life in Germany. But now, in one of the 16 states, an additional requirement has been introduced in the aftermath of Hamas's attack on Israel in October.
We have now decided that as part of the process, all applicants for naturalisation must make a written declaration recognising Germany's special responsibility for the State of Israel and recognising the State of Israel's right to exist.
Where her government in Magdeburg has led, so some people here in Berlin seem to want to follow. Prominent politicians on the left and on the right say existing rules don't go far enough. Several weeks ago, Conservative leader Friedrich Merz suggested enshrining in law what his party colleagues in Saxony-Anhalt have done. And the Federal Interior Minister Nancy Faeser appears to agree. One leading lawyer told me he believes this action is unconstitutional.
Israel's right to existence is not a legal principle. It's a political principle that several German governments have adopted, but it's not written in the constitution. And also, the directive from Sachsen-Anhalt didn't consider at all the rights and liberties of the people affected.
Parliament is already debating whether to relax some of the rules regarding German citizenship, to encourage more people to apply. But if the change regarding Israel is passed, then it may discourage others. Dominic Kane, Al Jazeera, Berlin.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.